is up, bros? I'm Caleb.
And I'm Jonathan.
And we are a couple of bros on a mission to give you guys the most detailed movie reviews out there with as little bias as possible. Welcome to the All Bros. And welcome, Sam.
Damn, that was fast.
I know. Freaking quick. Dude, he did that during the intro.
Damn. Sam, you are the MVP. That's all I'm going to say. You are the MVP.
Hell yeah. Freaking Johnny on the spot. All right, this week on the podcast, we got not that many weekly watches for you this week again. Next week, I feel is going to be a crazy one.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was listening to UBS. Oh, so it was like right before, dude. Yeah. So it was pre-intro.
So I guess I should have said. No. So I just want to just really quickly point this out before we get into the show. So when we were doing just a couple weeks ago, we were doing our weekly watches and our mini recs. I did The Exorcist and The Exorcist Believer, and I pointed out that I believe The Exorcist Believer is a better film than the original. And me and Caleb were ready for like all the hatred to come in, just freaking people just being like, "Oh my God, what is wrong with you? Like, you don't know Cinema Rose. Like, what the hell?" One, it hasn't really got a lot of interaction, and which really kind of shocks me. But I mean, comparing to what The Exorcist has gotten, I guess that makes sense. But yeah, like literally on TikTok, it only has like 5 comments. It has 0 on Instagram. And literally the only comments are, "Oh, I've seen that so it's gotten so many bad reviews, but since you liked it, I might check it out." And then the first comment was, "Oh, I wish you luck on the hatred that you're about to get." Nothing. I was telling Caleb, I feel like Krusty the Clown in the episode of The Simpsons where they're at the Maple store and he's complaining about how he doesn't like his MyPod. And he points out like, "Oh, and the music these days, don't even get me started." No one responds. I said, "Please don't let anyone get me started." Nothing. And he's finally, "Come on, isn't someone going to get me started?" That's how I feel about this. Come on, someone just get into an argument with me of why I think The Exorcist Believer is a better movie than the original. Just one person, please.
Oh shit.
But anyway, sorry. That's just wanted to.
Yeah, that was our pre-show conversation.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah. So, like I said, not much in weekly watches, but after we update you guys on that, we will be getting into our breakdown of Chicken Run: Dawn of the Nugget,
the sequel that did anyone really ask for?
Nope.
Yeah. Not spoiling the review, but I'm just saying, like, out of all, I mean, honestly, thinking about it, I don't think any Aardman movie really needs a sequel, because apparently it's either this year or next year that they're coming out with another Wallace and Gromit movie. I don't know if it's a sequel to Curse of the Were-Rabbit. I hope it isn't, because it doesn't need one. So,
yeah.
But if it is, I stand by that point. No Aardman movie really needs a sequel.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll be getting into that. And, yeah. So, let's say we get right on into this.
Let's do it.
All right.
Hey, this is Mikey T.
And Grant.
And Billy.
And we are Failing
Hollywood.
Yeah, you're listening to the All Bros podcast with
Caleb and Jonathan Rose.
Or just Rose.
Is it Rose or Jonathan?
I don't know. Caleb calls him Rose. He introduces himself Jonathan. It's a thing.
But he's as sweet as a rose.
He's a very nice person.
And as murderous as a Jonathan.
Yes.
That might be my favorite, just because it's so funny how it's little. We have to go into a backstory as to why we have on the podcast as to why Caleb calls me Rose, but everyone else calls me Jonathan. But,
All righty, so kicking off this week's weekly watch, Rose, what did you end up watching this week?
I watched Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby, and I'm sorry, I did not enjoy it that much. For the first time, Will Ferrell was way too much for me. I never thought I would say that. I really didn't, because like you have Elf, which I mean, a lot of people, I'm sure, well, I don't know. Would a lot of people say that Will Ferrell is too much in that movie?
I think some might, but if you're a fan of Will Ferrell, I don't think it's quite like the normal level that he's at with these types of movies.
That's fair. So like, I don't know, comparing to like how like I guess outlandish and like flailing his hands around as he is in that movie compared to this one, just he's trying too hard in my opinion in this movie, and it just doesn't work for a lot of the time. I will say John C. Reilly though, I love him in this movie, but I love John C. Reilly in like literally everything. He's a very underappreciated, not only comedic but actor. But I don't know, like everyone else is fine. The jokes with his kids are hilarious. I will definitely admit that. Walker and Texas Ranger, freaking hilarious. And I had no idea that this is the movie that the line "I'm all hyped up on Mountain Dew" comes from. But when it came out, I'm like, that's where that comes from. I now know it. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm glad I finally watched it. I can finally check this off my list of. I want to say, because it's weird. Like John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell did like a trilogy together, even though they came out. It was widely split apart because there was Step Brothers, this, and then Watson and Holmes, which I heard Watson and Holmes was terrible. Have you seen that movie?
Not even a little bit.
Okay. I kind of want to see it just because I kind of want to see all three that these two are the main stars of, and like they are working together. But yeah, I'll fully admit Step Brothers is a way better film than this movie. It's way funnier. Like the supporting cast is decent. I was shocked when freaking Amy Adams came on camera. I'm like, whoa. I did not expect her to be in this kind of comedy, but I mean, I get, considering this came out in 2006, this was kind of where she was like getting her start up. But just comparing it to what she is in nowadays, it like kind of like threw me off for a minute. But yeah, just I thought it was all right. Just like I said, I'm glad I finally watched it. I can finally be on the Talladega Nights train, I guess, because people hype this movie up so much. But just I thought it was all right. So.
Yeah, this is one that I rewatched this not too long ago. Yeah, I only like it for like a handful of super quotable moments, and that's about it. Everything else
fair.
is just it's too much.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, but it's weird because it's like the quotes that hit hard.
True.
Everything else though, it's too much.
Yeah. So yeah, I got to give this one a nothing better to do.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. All right. So I ended up watching Ted this week, and this is more or less my excuse to talk about the show because I just finished watching the show, and I was like, gosh damn it, I need to watch the movie now just to like see if it hits the same, and it doesn't quite live up to the show. I think the show is a lot better, but the movie, I mean, the movie still hits. It's still funny. I think it's hilarious. I think the second one's funnier though, because I've rewatched both of them recently. So yeah, I think I think the show is funnier than the movie, and the second one is funnier than the first.
I find it funny that Peacock has like the Ted collection, and it's just the show in the first one because HBO Max has the rights to the second one right now.
Dude, I noticed that. I was scrolling through HBO and I was just like, wait a minute, when I saw Ted 2 pop up.
It's like poor Peacock. They can't have the trilogy on
Yeah.
their streaming platform.
But yeah, highly recommend the show. The show is fantastic.
Oh my god.
Have you
dude.
finished it yet?
Yeah, I have.
Oh my gosh. Dude, that final scene just like get the guitar.
Dude, you freaking called it. I wanted to point this. Last week, I can't remember if we said it on the podcast, but yeah, Caleb's just like, there has to be a Thunder Buddies introduction. Like, there has to be in the show. And yeah, Caleb freaking called it. That's how they end it. It was perfect. It was perfection.
Dude, it was great. It was freaking great. And it makes sense too. Because it's like, okay, there's a cuss word in the song. Like, why would they have had that when he was a kid? Like, they did it perfect. They did it so perfect.
They did. Oh my god.
I freaking loved it, and freaking loved that, like how it was introduced. They're just like sitting out in their backyard, and then just strikes, and they're like, "Oh God, why is it like that?" Like, son of a bitch. Freaking great.
Oh,
so yeah, highly recommend the show. The movie, the movie, I'm giving a stream it, and it's a little on the weaker side, but it's still, I think it still holds up. Yeah.
Damn. I mean, I'd give it a strong stream it. That's me.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm nowhere close to a nothing better to do, but it's definitely like a weaker, just like stream it.
Have you ever so I don't think they've ever put the unrated version on streaming, but have you ever seen the unrated version?
I have not.
So the opening is so much funnier.
Is it?
Yes. Because I don't think that it happens in the original, but there's a part where they're beating up on the one kid, and John comes over, and because I don't think like they even talk to John, he kind of just walks away. But in the unrated, they're beating him. He's just like, "Hey, can I play?" And they're all just like, "Get lost, Bennett." And the kid that's even getting beaten up is just like, "Yeah, Bennett, get lost."
That was in the this version.
Was?
Yeah. I don't know if it was the unrated version, but
oh no, okay, I'm thinking of a completely different joke that is inappropriate to say on the podcast right now.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll tell you after,
Okay.
because yeah, when they do that, I'm just like, okay. I mean, I laughed. I felt bad for laughing, but it was funny as hell. And honestly, I felt it was a way better opening. But anyway, yeah.
Okay.
I do agree with Caleb though. Stream it definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I've watched this week. So yeah. So that wraps up this week's weekly watch. So with that, let's say we get right into this breakdown.
Let's do it.
All right. Alrighty, getting into this week's breakdown, we are going to be discussing Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget. The crazy out of left field sequel that I'm not sure anyone could have guessed we were going to get.
Dude, seriously, I'm wondering if once freaking Netflix acquired the rights to like all of Aardman's future projects, they're like, okay, what are you guys thinking? Because we were thinking a Chicken Run sequel. Oh no, we were thinking this. No. Your first one from us being, your executive distributor, Chicken Run 2. That's all that you can do.
Yeah, doesn't quite. We'll get into it. Get into it.
I mean, you know what? From a financial standpoint, I can understand why, considering that Chicken Run is still the top grossing stop motion animated film of all time. So from that point, I get it. But at the same time, it's a streaming release. It wasn't released in theaters. So like you can't really necessarily make that argument that much.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. All right. Well, We did not ask a question of the week this week, mainly because we didn't know what we were going to be breaking down until 4 hours ago, 4 or 5 hours ago.
Basically.
We had some people reach out to us about another movie, and we were going to do that movie, but the screener that they sent us to like watch it had expired.
Oops.
And so we didn't have enough time to like reach out to them and like, hey, can you get us a new one? Because we suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but dude, it freaking turns out it expired yesterday.
Oh, son of a bitch.
I know. I was totally planning on watching it yesterday too.
Oh, dude.
But something came up and I was like, oh, I'll get to it. And nope.
Leave it to us to put. I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah, leave it to us to push it to the day that we actually record.
Yeah, no shit. Both of us too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, well, that's why we're doing this one, and also why we didn't post a question of the week.
Yes.
So we will be sure to get one out next week. So yeah. So just kicking this right off. If you guys are new to our breakdown system, we have split movies into 8 different categories that we individually score to come to a final All Bros letter grade. The 8 categories that we score are story, writing, acting, character development, effects, but with this being an animated film, we're going to be discussing the animation. Then we'll be getting into music, and then character design, with this being a animated film. Then we will be giving it our own personal score at the very end. All of those numbers will get magically added up and spit through our system and give us a letter grade to compare this movie to others of the same grade, as well as a percentage that really doesn't quite matter, but it's still fun to talk about. So with that, if you have not seen Chicken Run: Dawn of the Nugget, it is available to stream on Netflix right now. Otherwise, we are going to be spoiling the whole thing for you in our favorite segment that we like to call Reading with Rose.
All right.
I paused to like let you do your bitching and complaining.
Oh no, I'm trying to be better. That's
Okay.
my New Year's resolution, to not bitch about Reading with Rose. Just accept it and move on with it, Rose.
Just accept it and move on.
You've been doing it for 300 episodes now. Just get freaking used to it. Like, okay,
yeah.
maybe not that. When did we introduce freaking Reading with Rose? Like, it wasn't like at the beginning, right?
No, it wasn't. It slowly formed over time.
Okay. It's still been a while though, so like I'm dumb bitching about it. I'm gonna embrace it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, we'll be posting our spoiler warning now. So if you listen past this point and anything is spoiled for you, too bad.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So with that, Rose, you want to take us away?
Absolutely. All right. Since the chickens escaped from Mr. and Mrs. Tweedy's farm, they have settled in an idyllic sanctuary on an island in a lake where they can live happily, safe from humans. Ginger and Rocky start a family with a hatchling named Molly. The rats and Nick fetch her visit periodically with supply. And, you know, I'm going to add an and to that. It shouldn't be a period. And the rats, Nick, and Fetcher visit periodically with supplies. Molly grows into an adventurous 11-year-old whom Ginger and Rocky try to protect from the outside world. The appearance of trucks and construction on the mainland concern Ginger that another chicken farm is being built, and with her more cautious perspective as a parent, she leads her community in better hiding themselves. Molly's curiosity draws her to sneak away to the mainland, where she is saved from being run over by a teenage chicken named Frizzle. The two friends stow away on a truck full of chickens being taken to Funland Farms, which looks appealing to them. Ginger and Rocky form a search party with chickens Babs, Bunty, Mac, and Fowler, and Fowler. They give chase and find that the farm is a high advanced poultry processing plant bristling with security systems. Inside, Molly and Frizzle find an expansive amusement area where the other chickens, all wearing numbered electronic collars, go on rides, play games, etc. Rocky impulsively catapults into the compound, inadvertently activating various security systems, giving Ginger and the others the info they need to infiltrate. They are joined by Nick and Fetcher, who are separated from the others but meet up with Rocky. Molly and Frizzle discover that the collars turn the other chickens into carefree idiots when activated. Frizzle is caught by the facility scientist, Dr. Fry, and given a collar. Molly leaves, promising to come back for her. Ginger reunites with Molly and learns in horror that her nemesis, Mrs. Tweedy, is running the operation alongside Dr. Fry, her new husband. The collars serve to suppress the chicken sphere to make tastier chicken nuggets for Reginald Smith, a fast food chain businessman looking for new food items. Mrs. Tweedy captures Ginger and puts a collar on her, which she resists, unsuccessfully, but Rocky intervenes and Molly frees her. The hens, rooster, and rats are reunited in a corn silo, which they escape by turning it into popcorn. Molly mourns the fate of Frizzle, prompting Ginger and the others to turn back and help the other chickens as well. Mrs. Tweedy orders Dr. Fry to start production of chicken nuggets, beginning a struggle for the remote control that brainwashes the chickens between Mrs. Tweedy and the team of Rocky, Ginger, and Molly, while the rest of the rescue squad try to hold back the chickens marching mindlessly into the processor. The chicken trio wins the fight, sending Mrs. Tweedy into the machine to be breaded like a chicken nugget, while the whole population of chickens and the rats escape in a truck. Mrs. Tweedy tries to stop them, but Fowler knocks her into Compound's moat, where she is stopped by the facility security as the site explodes from the chickens' sabotage. The chickens return to the island, and their life returns to normal, now with Molly and Frizzle doing aerial reconnaissance for chicken farms on the mainland, and the chicken crew liberating those they find.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I will say, though, one thing that I wish, or maybe I hope it's, what's the word? Shit, I don't know the word. I hope that it's implied, that's the word, that this is the final resting spot of Mrs. Tweedy, because I swear if they make a Chicken Run 3 and she comes back, like,
again,
no.
Dude.
It was a stretch for her to come back in this one.
It was. I remember the first one being like really, like we talked about it. The first one was really freaking dark.
Yes.
When Tweety fell into the chicken nugget of fire, I straight up thought they killed her.
Dude, I was kind of hoping that they did, because I was gonna be like, all right, Aardman, ballsy. I love it. But
super ballsy.
She just got freaking breaded. That's all it was.
Yeah, that was so lame.
Yeah.
But makes sense because it's a kids movie. But
I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, I get why you don't want to go that far, but like, I appreciate movies that like imply that they're going to go that far. Toy Story 3. Like, God, imagine if Pixar actually did go that far, that the toys were incinerated. That shit would be the first Pixar movie to be freaking rated PG-13.
That'd be nuts.
Yeah.
That would have been wild. Dude, I wouldn't even know what to like emotionally do if that was the case.
Dude, what would kill me is if the last shot is you see Woody and Buzz's hands holding each other are the last things to be incinerated.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, I could never recover emotionally from that.
Yeah, it's just like the end. What?
It's like, well, Pixar, you broke me. You broke me.
Yup. Shit. But yeah, I mean, this story, my issue with the first Chicken Run is that the story felt really slow.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, and this one I had the opposite. It was going too fast for me.
That's fair. I think my problem was, I don't know, I liked that the stakes were so high in the first one. But I mean, I know like they tried to raise the stakes and they tried to make the stakes high in this one, but just it didn't feel that way. And maybe it's just because the first one is a lot darker of a film, like you pointed out. Whereas I don't know, this one felt a little too not magical, but just like I never thought that the chickens were actually in danger.
I didn't either. I never like really bought it. Like I knew that I had a feeling that they were going to have like a few chickens that were like sacrifices, like just showing off like the technology. Like I'm like, yeah, I kind of figured that's what would happen.
Yeah.
There'd be like one or two, and that's exactly what happened in the first. But yeah, it's like the stakes just weren't on the same level.
Like,
And when they did, like when it did feel like there was like maybe some stakes, but like when Tweety had Molly, I felt no concern. I'm like, yeah, they're gonna get out of this.
same.
I think what ruined it is that they kept showing Rocky doing stuff in the background. And so it's like, okay, so obviously he's going to do something that's going to like fix this all. Like if I think it's tough because it's like, do you go the route where he just comes out of nowhere and have like one of those freaking ex machina situations, or do you do what you did and just cheapen the moment?
Yeah, I agree. I feel it's hard to rate, like make you actually feel like genuine worry for these chickens after the freaking ballsy scene that is in the first one, where you actually see the implication of a chicken getting its head cut off. Because that to me is still the darkest scene in any Aardman film. But just yeah, dude, I agree with you. Like, yeah, I never felt that Molly was in any real danger. And freaking yeah, when Ginger is strapped down and has the collar put on, didn't feel any worry there. I'm just like, literally same shit that happened in the first one. Oh, Ginger's about to be cooked by the machine that Mrs. Tweety has. We all know she's going to get out of it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's just that was the thing that this thing suffered with a lot. It was setting up good stakes, and yeah, by the end, for me, stakes are what make me care about the movie. And with this not having any, it like I stopped caring about the movie.
No,
like,
dude,
I was just
that's
like,
fair.
okay, like whatever, let's just wrap this up. Like that was like
Yeah.
my feelings towards it after all that stuff, and it sucks. Like
Yeah.
this had potential. It's just you cheapened your own plot.
Yeah, they really did. And I mean, I don't know if it was if I mean, I know it's a different director duo than Nick Park and oh my god. Damn it, I forgot who directed the first Chicken Run. Sorry, 1 second. Cuz it was Nick Park and damn, it doesn't, cuz I know they produced it. Of course it's not going to let me take it to the original on Wikipedia because it's freaking stupid like that.
Dude, you know what would have been a really good alteration and maybe would have helped the stakes out a little bit more? I would have personally liked for them to have been discovered on the island.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
And then it's like everyone gets taken from the island. I'd say Molly's already on her way to the factory. Like she sneaks away. She's already taken to the factory. kind of has an idea of what's going on already.
Yeah.
And then it's like the main people that you want out of there or like not fully there. So like Ginger, Rocky, like all of that main cast, like they are the only ones that didn't get taken. And so that's like then they have to jump on and like save their community and everything. Like I think that would have helped out a lot.
Dude, absolutely agree. And I feel that like going around the ending is cool that like, oh, now that this is their mission to save chickens from getting sent into, you know, being cooked. Oh my god. All right, take 2. Here we go. I like that at the end it's their mission to make sure that, you know, no chicken goes through what they have gone through twice now and, you know, they end up being cooked. But just I agree with you. It would have been a lot more impactful if it were the chickens from their area, their family that got taken, and then it was up to, like you said, Ginger, Rocky, all of them, all the main chickens to save them.
Yeah. Like I think you still could have done like I think that would gosh. Maybe this is going on the dark side a little bit, but this is where I feel like they could have done the whole experimenting and like shown like what happens when they get taken and everything with someone from that like community. Like obviously not like one of the main cast chickens, but someone from like their community, and then it's just like boom, like then they get turned into nuggets and you're just like, oh shit.
You know what would have been the most ballsy? And I feel that the one would have been the most impactful if they would have done it to Babs.
Oh, dude, that would have been nuts.
I don't know if I could recover from that emotionally.
Yeah, it's just give us something to care about. We haven't seen these characters in
over 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, it was great seeing them again. Like, I loved seeing Ginger and Rocky, Babs, Reginald, right? Isn't that the name of the?
Yeah. But it's like, why?
It's great.
Like, why? Like, give us a reason to care. Give us something to get emotionally attached to. And I think have it like the rando chickens was just meh.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And I mean, I get that they probably have a lot more going on, but like I feel like I missed Peter Lord and Nick Park directing this like they did with the first one. I miss them being the like they're involved in like I mean they are literally involved in everything with Aardman, but I miss them directing every single movie because like I still love Aardman. They're still one of my favorite animation studios, but like I feel after Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, it just I lost a little bit of magic from them.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to be mean to the directors that did Dawn of the Nugget. They did do a decent job with a sequel because Chicken Run did not need a sequel. Sam Fell. Sorry, it was just one director. Sam Fell did a good job with what he was given here. But for me personally, it's nowhere near on the levels as the first Chicken Run, which I love.
Yeah. So this one, I can't go much higher than like a 75 for the story. It just did not work for me nearly as well as the original did.
That's fair, dude. That is fair. I think the only reason I'm just going to give it a point higher is it was nice seeing these characters again. Not everyone was given what they should have been when it came to character arc, but looking past that, like when it came to like the like OGs, it did feel like seeing old friends, and that's always a nice thing, and that definitely at least gets me to push you up a point.
Fair. All right, next up we got writing. And unfortunately, this was bland.
Very. Especially like the new characters.
You could
I
have
don't
had
know.
so much fun with the new characters.
Like seriously, Frizzle, like, and I actually really like the addition of Molly. I just kind of wish she was written better.
I do too, dude. And this is where I feel like like taking the characters, or taking like the community, like if they would have all been captured, would have really helped this movie, because then you could have had Frizzle be a childhood friend of Molly's.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that would have been perfect.
Yeah, it's like the two of them always getting into trouble, like doing all this, and instead it's just some rando chicken that Molly meets one day that kind of like drags her on the bus and is like, "Hey, let's go." Like it's just
Yeah.
it's so random, and it's just it doesn't work. It like
It
nearly
doesn't.
as well as if you had established a previous relationship.
Yeah.
And you could have had so much fun with it too. So much freaking fun with it. But it was cheap and, like I said, bland as hell. I can't think. I shit you not. I finished the movie 3 hours ago. Couldn't tell you a single line.
Yeah, dude, I got nothing either. And I finished it about the same time.
Yeah.
Jeez. Wow.
This is one I didn't even crack the 70s with it. I'm personally sitting around like a 68. It was low. It was so bland.
I think I'm just going to be slightly above you at a 70. It does crack the 70s for me. It's nowhere near as good as the writing of the original. And as we pointed out, there are no memorable lines, but there is still some writing that I did enjoy that barely cracks 70 for me.
I mean, fair enough. It wasn't hitting for me.
No, dude,
Like
that's
I found myself having a hard time focusing on the film because of how bland the
Really?
writing was.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I didn't have that problem, but I can understand why. I completely get that.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got acting. So going through this cast real quick, we have Thandaway Newton, who voiced Ginger. Zachary Levi, who voiced Rocky. Bella Ramsey, who voiced Molly. I didn't pay attention to the cast list after that. I hear it.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I thought the same thing. I'm just like, holy shit, yeah, that was Bella.
Yeah. Imelda Staunton, who voiced Bunty. Lynn Ferguson, who voiced Mac. Jane Horrocks, who voiced Babs. David Bradley, who voiced Fowler. And then Miranda Richardson, who voiced Mrs. Tweedy. All right, what's your top three look like?
So one thing I just do want to point out really quickly. Don't get me wrong, Thandie Newton did do a good job as Ginger, but I was missing the original voice so much. I'm sorry, it was not the same. And the fact that they didn't even approach her to come back, like that just makes me so sad.
Yeah.
Like,
there were some improvements though. I loved Zachary Levi's performance.
dude, same. Way better Rocky. Way better Rocky than Mel Gibson.
I know, dude. He's like such more personality.
Yeah, so much better. Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm glad I'm not the only one that felt that way. But top three, I probably give 3 to Miranda Richardson, who came back from Mrs. Tweedy, just because it was great to have her back, and she was just as great as ever. It didn't felt weird for her character to come back because freaking it was implied that she freaking died in the first one. But whatever, it was great to have her back. Number 2, I think I would give to Zachary Levi played Rocky. Like we pointed out, improvement over the voice from the first one. Great job. Yeah, I loved him in the role. Like I know he was. I know it could have never happened, but I wish that he played him in the first one.
Yeah, dude, same.
But number 1, I'm gonna get to Belly Ramsey. Sorry, Belly. Wow.
Belly.
I'm sorry. Bella Ramsey, who played Molly. While I wish that her writing as a character was a little stronger, Bella Ramsey was great as the voice of her. I feel she brought a lot of characteristic to this character. She brought so much energy, especially like just I really enjoyed when Molly was on screen. So yeah, that's my top 3.
Yeah, unfortunately, the performances were good, but it's the writing that sucked ass.
Yeah, dude, right?
And unfortunately, like even the great performances that we got could not save this movie for anything.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. So my number 3, I'm actually going to give to Miranda Richardson as well. I love that she came back, and she just like it was weird because her voice didn't quite sound the same. Like it almost sounded younger.
It kind of did. Maybe, I mean, she kind of, honestly, the way that she was dressed and she looked younger.
I know. What the hell?
Yeah. So like maybe she's had some like plastic surgery or some shit.
She must have. She absolutely must have. So yeah, loved her like coming back. I thought she kept the same intensity in her characterization
Definitely
of Miss Tweedy, so freaking loved it. My number 2 I'm gonna give to Bella Ramsey, who played Molly. I thought she was a great addition to the cast and so much fun. But again, she was like not a great written character, but the performance was outstanding. So freaking loved her. But my number 1 I'm giving to Zachary Levi as Rocky. He was great. Like if there was a time that I was paying attention, it was when freaking Rocky was on screen. He has like so much more of a charm to him in this, just because I think his personality is a lot better.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was great. It was absolutely great.
I'm very shocked. Like I get why, they didn't want to bring back Mel Brooks. We're not going to talk about
Or
that.
Gibson.
Yeah, Mel Gibson. Sorry, thank you.
Yeah, Mel Brooks is a different comedian.
Yeah. So you know what? I understand, and we're not going to get into that, but I just don't understand why they didn't ask who did the voice? Julia Sawalha. I think that's how you say her name. Because as far as I know, like there's no bad beef between her and Aardman. Like nothing wrong. And she even like I think she sent in an audition for it, which really shocks me how she would need to audition again for Ginger when she freaking played her in the first one. But apparently they didn't think that her voice fit the iteration of Ginger that they were going for in the second one. I'm just like, how the hell does that make sense?
Well, has she? I mean, if her voice has aged,
no, she sounds the exact same.
Does she really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I don't care for that. I think if she has the same voice, but I mean, I know that there's times where that doesn't necessarily work. Like the biggest example is talking about like Carrie Fisher, the way she sounds in like Star Wars and everything versus how she sounded near that like the end of her life, wildly different.
Yeah.
So it's if that was the case, I'm like, okay, maybe I could be a little bit more understanding about that. But if she sounds the same, what the hell's the problem?
I think it's the case of, we want star power that we can put on the poster. So there's like, ooh, Thandie Newton and Zachary Levi. Bam.
What is she from?
What I remember from is Norbit.
She's in Norbit.
Yeah.
What else is she in? Like, if you're saying like, oh, she has the star power, like, does she?
I thought she's in The Pursuit of Happiness.
Okay, that does nothing for me though.
Yeah, those are the only two movies that I can think of off the top of my head. Like, don't get me wrong, like she did a good job. Like she wasn't bad, but I was missing the original.
Yeah,
I was missing Julia.
that if that's the reason that they didn't bring the original back, that they wanted star power, you should know your movie. We're not there for like the people that watch Chicken Run could give a flying shit about who voiced her in the first.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not going there. I'm not going into this movie for for star power. I'm going in there to hear the characters that I fell in love with 20 odd years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah. Where are you sitting with acting?
I mean, consider like it's awesome that for the other roles that they brought back the originals, so that was awesome to hear them. But just there were some decisions with it that I didn't love. Some I did love, Zachary Levi, and Bella Ramsey, but not asking the original voice of Ginger to come back, I did have a problem with. But that is not, I'm not going to have that, ruin my score for acting. So acting, just because I feel everyone did do a pretty decent job with their voice acting. I think I'm going to go an 80.
I am just slightly below you. I did not quite crack an 80 with this one, so I'm sitting at a 79.
That's fair. That is completely fair.
All right, next up we got character development.
I was going to say bugs. That's apparently what
I know.
Caleb has.
Hell. Dude, the freaking we got like freaking fruit flies and shit. Like they're the worst.
Oh, dude, that sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I don't have any food in here. I don't know what the hell they're doing in here. Yeah, so character development.
I'm assuming are we doing Molly or Ginger?
This is one I feel like you kind of have to do both.
That's mother-daughter duo. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I will say I did like Ginger's character arc. The fact that, after everything that they went through in the first one, completely understandable why she wants to protect her daughter at all costs, and she doesn't want her to go beyond their sanctuary. And then as the movie goes on, her going to Mrs. Tweedy's new farm, everything that happens there, having emotional moments with her daughter, and then at the end, her deciding that, what, actually we need to save all these chickens, and then like the big ending being that they make it their mission to rescue all chickens now, which is awesome. I thought that was actually a very good arc for Ginger. I still like the arc in the first one better. I'm going to say that a lot. I'm sorry, because the first one is superior to this one, in my opinion.
It is wildly superior.
But just, no, it wasn't a bad arc for Ginger. Molly, the same. I can understand why she's that adventurous kid that, wants to venture out from where she is living. Like they point out, she's a lot like her mother, which, yeah, definitely. So I liked that approach. And seeing her come to an understanding throughout of what her parents, what Ginger and Rocky were talking about with what lies on the other side of where they live, and just how bad it is and stuff like that, and just how she comes to an understanding of that, and an understanding of especially where her mom was coming from, and just how they mend their relationship at the end. And just, yeah, like overall, not a bad arc for both.
Yeah. I mean, it was okay. It just, again, wasn't anything new or exciting, but it was done well.
Yeah.
For what it was. This I don't think I've cracked 80s on this one either.
Oh, yeah, dude, I haven't either.
Yeah, I'm sitting. Where are you at?
I don't know, I think I'll be slightly higher than my story grade. I'll be at 78.
Yeah, I'm about a 77. I'm just slightly lower than you. We've been close this go around.
That is
That
true,
doesn't
yeah.
happen too often,
No, it does not.
especially with films like this.
Yeah. No, dude, trust me. When I started this, I wanted to love it. I wanted to love it as much as the original, but it's a decent sequel, but it unfortunately doesn't fully stack up to the original.
Yeah. All right, next up we got animation. A wild improvement from the first.
Yes. Like they still look the same. Like, nothing's really changed about the characters, but yeah, like the fact that of course they're filmed on way better cameras now. Yeah, freaking looks so much better.
Yes. And I would even say the vibrancy, the colors that they use in this are so freaking stunning.
Yeah, I agree. As you could say that the first one is kind of monotone a little bit. If you're comparing it to this one, which nothing wrong with that. Like I love it for that. But the decision to bump up the vibrancy in here with this one, I think was a really good call, and it definitely added to it. It's a very pretty Aardman animated film.
Yeah, I agree. Gosh, like I had no issues. Well, actually, that might be a tough thing. I'd say I don't know about you. Did the things that they used that weren't stop motion feel awkward to you?
I'm trying to think of like certain moments.
So one that I'm thinking of is when Rocky dives into the silo. And so when he like dives into all like the corn kennels, like you could see that it was like animated thrown around. It wasn't like stop motion movement.
Yeah.
So there was that. They had a scene where I think it was Molly looking at birds, and those were like animated.
And I don't know what it was, but the animation on the guards in this one, the way that they were sculpted, I don't know, just they looked way too bland for me. And I
Super generic.
Yeah, I guess that's the point, maybe, for them being guards, but I don't know, just like comparing how they look to what I know what Aardman is capable of when it comes to their human characters, I was disappointed.
Yeah,
Honestly.
they freaking cookie cutter.
Yeah.
They had the same freaking model for like damn near all of the guards.
I will say though, Mrs. Tweedy looked great. Freaking her new husband, what was his name?
Yeah, I'm like they did good on the characters that were like up front and center.
Yeah, like the actual
just
characters that we were supposed to care about.
Yeah, the background characters sucked ass.
No, so yeah, like freaking like when Frizzle and Molly first they're chasing after the truck and the guy stops at the gas station. When he walks out the door and Ginger's like shocked by him, it's like, wow, that is so generic for Aardman when it comes to a human character.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd say that.
I think that's more of a character design flaw, though.
That's fair. That's a good point. Okay, so I'll leave it for that.
Yeah, we'll save it for that, like that particular problem. But I'm talking like even the explosion. Like when their facility like started blowing up and everything, that like they used like actual explosions and stuff, like shit you get like from a green screen and like in the background. I'm like, dude, that's lazy.
Like, yeah, like I don't know, like I'm not trying to knock using that kind of stuff, because I know stop motion is a hard thing to do, and kudos to people that do it, especially Aardman, but I don't know if I'm doing a stop motion movie I'm going to commit 100% and everything is going to be stop motion.
Like they did in the first. They had explosions in the first.
Yeah. And it was all claymation,
Yep.
all stop motion.
Why'd you drop the ball?
Yeah. Like
Like
was the
I can
budget
understand.
not there?
Yeah, I know. It's like I understand that maybe that's difficult to do, but you guys signed up to do a stop motion movie. Freaking commit.
Yeah. Seriously.
So yeah, that's dropping my animation score a bit because they had a lot of moments like that where it was random moments of animation
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
of like computer generated animation versus the stop motion.
Yeah.
And it was, I'd say, distracting because I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit, like that's not claymation.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, but don't get me wrong, the movie still looked fantastic, and that is but a small part of the movie.
Yeah.
So I'm still fairly high. Like I'm in definitely the high 80s.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I don't think I've cracked 90s on this, honestly. There.
Yeah,
Like
maybe like an 87.
I think I'm just gonna be 2 points higher than you in 89.
Fair enough. All right, next up we got music. Is the song that they played at the end of the credits, is that an original song?
I have no idea.
Because that was a pretty decent song.
Yeah, I agree. If you can give this movie one up from the original, I will say that it does have better music. At least when it comes to like pop songs that they use, because the first one really only has the flip flop fly song, whereas this one, like you said, the credit song, and then when Molly and Frizzle first arrive to the sanctuary, there's that song playing. And then isn't there another one when the chickens are being led into or like when all the chickens are about to be led into the not incinerator, but the chicken nugget maker, whatever it's called.
Yes.
Okay.
I can't recall that one as much. But I don't know, compare like with the music, I think what did we give the first one? Like a 6?
I think so.
I think this one's at least with that already, or with that one song, the one about their kid or their daughter or whatever. I think that one's at least earned it a 7.
Yeah, I agree.
Like it's barely cracked it.
Yeah.
Like this is more like 6.5, but
yeah.
It's leaning more towards that one. All right. Next up, we got character design, which this is where we're going to freaking hit them for the generic ass looking characters.
Yeah, because them guards, man, them guards.
Yeah.
It just sucks because you get those those generic ass looking characters, and then you get the amazing designs of the OG chickens from the first one, Ginger, Rocky, Babs. Freaking Molly looked great. Loved her look. Frizzle.
I loved Frizzle's look.
Yeah, Frizzle looked awesome. But just unfortunately it's dragged a little down by the generic ass, or by some generic ass human characters.
Yeah. Gosh. This one, I mean, giving the props where props are due, I think with these ones I'm leaning more towards an 8 just because of how well they looked. And I loved Tweety.
Mrs. Tweety?
Yeah, I loved her look a lot more in this one than I did the first.
See, I liked her look in the first one more.
Did you?
Yeah, a lot more scarier.
I'll give you that. I can definitely give you that. It is a little bit scarier, but yeah, I don't know. I preferred this one.
No, dude, I completely get it. Completely understandable. But if you're saying an A, I can definitely agree with that. Definitely.
Yeah, I can't justify sitting any higher because I think if I remember right, I think we gave the first one a 9.
Yeah, I think you're.
Maybe let me just check for shits and giggles. Yeah, we gave the original a 9. So yeah, this drops just a point.
Which that's not bad. Like honestly.
Yeah, no, not at all. All right, last up we got our own personal score. You want to take this one first?
I would love to. Sorry, I'm just checking something really quickly. I'm sorry. Where is it? Aha, there we go. Okay. Sorry, just wanted to check a certain score. So unfortunately, this did not stack up to the original. It's a decent sequel, I will say. It's not the worst sequel I've ever seen. But comparing it to the original, it's night and day. Don't get me wrong, it was great to see these characters back again. But this sequel was not necessary. And it really feels like a cash grab. And just, yeah, like I like I said, don't get me wrong, it was great to see these characters again. But just the story wasn't fully there. Made no goddamn sense why Mrs. Tweety was back. She was dead. If she can come back, Mr. Tweety can come back. I guess she divorced him, so I guess that makes sense why he didn't come back. But I would have loved to have Mr. Tweety back too. Anyway,
I think that would have been a really fun thing for them to like bring back.
right? Yeah. But yeah, it sucks saying that Chicken Run 2 it's not great. It's just it's okay. It's decent. It's I would say it's good. But I wish either we didn't get a sequel or we got a better sequel. So personally, and I feel it barely cracks it. I'm gonna go a solid 80.
80, that's still pretty high.
Yeah, barely, dude. Like barely.
Oh man, I am very much on a different playing field than you.
Oh,
This is
shit.
going to be our biggest distance. I'm sitting at a 73. This
That's
did
fair.
not do it for me. This is one I barely made it through this one. I found it to be so boring, so bland. Like there were definitely like some good things about it, but
Yeah,
it
dude,
wasn't
that's
doing it.
fair. That's fair. That's completely fair.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that wraps up this week's breakdown. So, going through these categories real quick. Starting off with story, we ended up averaging out to a 75.5. Writing is sitting at a 69. Acting is sitting at a 79.5. Character development is sitting at a 77.5. The effects are the high points of this movie, or the animation is sitting is the high point of this film, sitting at an 88. Music is a 7 out of 10. The costumes are sitting at an 8 out of 10, and our personal score or the character design averaged to an 8 out of 10, and our personal score ended up averaging out to a 76.5. So with that, the final All Bros letter grade for Chicken Run Dawn of the Nugget has come out to a C+.
Okay. It's not bad.
Not bad at all. Definitely a little higher than I thought it was going to get, though.
Yeah, same here. Like, wow.
Yeah. So let's see. All right. So this movie is sitting, it's below the first one.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. Like significantly. So this is sitting at a 78.87.
Okay.
Yeah. So not too bad. It's definitely one of the stronger C plus movies. So yeah, sitting at a 78.87. This puts it on the exact same level as Army of the Dead, which
Remind
I
me
can
what that
agree.
movie was.
That was the Zack Snyder, the Dave Bautista zombie tiger.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah. So, do we want to go above or below first?
I'm gonna let you pick.
Let's go below.
Okay.
Okay, so this ended up sitting. I'm gonna skip a few because there's some that I feel like most people probably haven't seen.
Wait, did I
What?
Okay, so no, because I forgot to click submit, so I didn't know if you were actually like everything was right on your end. Sorry, but it looks like we're good.
Yeah, I submitted it for you because you
I'm
took
sorry.
forever.
I'm sorry. I forgot. I'm so sorry.
New rank or new system. Like we'll get the hang of it. All right. So Chicken Run sitting at 78.87. It's sitting below the remake of Pinocchio, or Disney's remake of Pinocchio.
It's below that?
It is below that.
Oh God, what the hell is wrong with us? It is way better than that.
Is it though?
I mean, it's at least a little better.
I bet you this was a music issue.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
So yeah, it is below the remake of Pinocchio. It is below Uncharted.
I did have a really good time with Uncharted, so I can get that.
Yeah. It is below Hocus Pocus 2.
Two sequels that do not match up to their original.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And let's see. Oh, it's below Mortal Kombat 2021.
All right.
And then it is below the live action remake of Aladdin.
That's fair. Because that is actually one of the better Disney remakes.
Oh, absolutely. Sorry. And then going the opposite direction, it is sitting above the New Mutants.
All right, fair.
It's above Godzilla versus Kong.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
I know we were kind of harsh on that one.
Seriously. Shit.
It is above Jumanji, The Next Level.
Okay.
It is above Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
Wow. Dude, I love that it's on like the same levels of like sequels that are nowhere near as good as the first one. That's hilarious.
Yeah. And it is above Tag.
I think I like Tag more.
I bet you that's because our personal score was higher for Tag than like everything else that we gave it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So interesting placement for this one.
Like I said, that is freaking hilarious. That is on the same level of so many sequels that aren't as good as the first. That is amazing. Oh, dude.
Oh, it's freaking great. But yeah. So unless you have anything else you want to add about this movie,
I got nothing.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure that wraps up this week's episode. One of our quicker ones today.
Yeah, seriously, damn.
Yeah. So I think we're just getting like a little bit more streamlined in like what we're talking about now.
I agree. I think the fact that for the most part, except for personal score, we mostly agreed with the scoring of this movie. So that definitely moved it on a faster pace. We didn't really have any I don't want to say quarrels, but any like, oh, hey, I mean, like you feel that way, but in my opinion, I feel this way. So
yeah, This was quick. Yeah, it definitely was, Sam.
Very.
You are honestly just as surprised as we are.
Yeah.
It is not like, especially with how late of a start we got.
Yeah, seriously. Like, it's been a hot minute since we've had an episode that's like barely reached over an hour.
Dude, our short episodes are at least an hour 45.
Yeah.
Like very seldom have we ever had one that's not even an hour and a half.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. I picked the wrong day to not give Rose shit.
You did, Sam. You did. It's okay.
Hell yeah. But yeah. So I guess with that wraps up this week's episode. If you like this episode, want to check out more of our stuff, be sure to follow and subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts. We are damn near everywhere. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, everywhere. You can also catch all of our episodes on YouTube. I've been a little bit shitty about posting those, but you can still catch those there. Like I'll get them on there. So yeah. So next week, we will be breaking down Rebel Moon. Yeah, the Zack Snyder Star Wars knockoff, I guess.
Yeah, that should just be the subtitle of it.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'm excited to check this one out. Let's kind of see what Zack Snyder can do with a Star Wars-esque film.
I don't know, dude. I mean, from what I hear, if he can do what Seth MacFarlane was able to do with the Star Trek kind of thing, hopefully it's good.
Yeah. So fingers crossed. I haven't seen anything about it.
Neither have I.
I haven't seen reviews, trailers, nothing.
What was it called again? I already forgot what it's called.
Rebel Moon.
Rebel Moon. Okay. I gotta remember that.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys can catch that next week. Until then, this has been the All Bros Podcast. I'm Caleb.
And I'm Jonathan.
And we'll catch you guys next week. Deuces.
So long.